Dear viewers, jewelry is not about gemstones and gold anymore. It's more about credibility and designs. Who can assure and ensure quality in both? And which is the brand that somebody can trust with closed eyes? There is one particular jewelry brand from Karnataka which is truly international. It is Ganjam. I with me today Mr. Umesh Ganjam, Director Ganjam, Nagappa and Son. Warm welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Actually now know that yours is a truly international brand of jewelry from Karnataka. How do you feel about it?
That's very nice and we're very proud. I think the opportunity given by the people of Karnataka has really encouraged us to take this journey.
But how do you actually say that Ganjam today is an international brand from Karnataka?
Well, if you look at the number of international awards that we have won in the last 10 years, we have not only won the number of awards from this country, but also even internationally, I think we have got the maximum number of awards, number one. Number two, the kind of design that we have produced have become iconic pieces and they are trend followers.
And you have a store now in Japan, and you've noticed that yours is the only brand from India to have opened a shop in Japan.
Well, we are present in quite a few stores in Japan,
okay.
Not just in one store. And they're all big luxury stores like Mr. Koshi or Takashimaya or many other retailers who are selling Ganjam as a brand.
Okay, but is it actually difficult for an Indian brand to go to the international market?
Well, it has taken almost 10 years for us to establish that, to have a preference for our brand. Not just as a jewelry brand. I was told recently that across the category, we are the only Indian brand per se in Japan.
And the whole perception of a luxury brand is very different now. How do you understand a luxury brand?
There are two kinds of luxury. One is an affordable luxury and other one is a real luxury. The luxury consortium has made this definition, and we believe the true luxury should have a heritage, it should represent a certain human ethos, it should be handcrafted, and more than everything, it should be uncompromising.
Okay, but the other luxury?
Well, the other luxury has a more marketing impetus, and it reaches out to many more people who are also aspiring.
Okay, but how do you actually sell your jewelry in India as a luxury brand?
Well, in the recent past, we have repositioned our brand as a luxury brand, and we are, in fact, the input that we have for our brand has made it luxury.
Okay, but is it actually more about an aspirational thing for people to buy a brand like Ganjam?
I think it is very aspirational for people to buy a brand like Ganjam.
Okay, what can they actually expect in buying a piece of jewelry from Ganjam?
In addition to the quality which is now given, the differentiation comes from the design and more importantly the way it is crafted, and it's based on different concept, and it gives higher emotional satisfaction.
Okay, but you've been in this business for a very long time, for generations. It's the 7th generation now. So you actually came from a family of traders of gemstones.
We actually came from a family who were giving knowledge about gemstones.
Okay, to kings and all.
And
Okay.
to the people.
Okay.
And then we...
But originally you were not into jewelry. Then you were asked to get into this business.
That's right. We were first parting knowledge.
Okay.
Then we started trading gems, and then we started making jewelry. This is what we have been told.
Okay. To start with, you were from a district in Orissa. That's the Ganjam district of Orissa. And then you settled near Mysore, that was near Srirangpatna, and made that place itself into another Ganjam.
Well, when we actually came from the place Ganjam, that Ganjam was part of Andhra,
Okay.
and which was actually part of Karnataka because it was a part of the erstwhile Vijayanagar Empire.
Okay.
And from Hampi, the political capital got shifted to Srirangpatna, and we were outside the political capital of Srinagarpatna. The
You were
Ganjam
in the
was
commercial
capital.
area. Okay, okay. So, but you were then not just imparting knowledge, but you were also trading in gems and diamonds. But then, because of your expertise, you were asked to get into this business or something like that.
I think the knowledge about gems was adequate to just trade with gems, but jewelry, the way jewelry used to be made those days, which is typically based on the Indian scriptures or Indian architecture,
Okay.
and required a certain amount of knowledge to make it in a particular way, and therefore we qualified for that, I guess.
Okay, but then you came to Bangalore after that, and you set up shop in Gandhinagar.
Yeah, that's right. The political capital again got shifted from that part of Mysore to Bangalore, and we followed through.
Okay, but now you have two stores in Bangalore, one on Infantry Road and the other in the Leela Palace Hotel. But your Infantry Road shop is the one where you actually showcase most of your best pieces, don't you?
The Infantry Road shop showcases both our heritage and legacy products.
Okay.
We also showcase contemporary products as well. Whereas the Leela showcases only contemporary jewelry.
Okay, but how do people understand this? A traditional piece also can look very contemporary these days with a little bit of innovation in design, modification rather. But do you actually identify a contemporary piece of jewelry as completely opposed to a traditional one?
The classical or the heritage jewelry is made in strict accordance to the scriptures.
Okay.
Therefore, it qualifies for.
What do the scriptures say?
The scripture has, it is the same scripture on which the temples are built.
Okay, the Agama Shastra.
The Agama Shastra, then there is Shiva Puranas are there. So these actually define how the South Indian temple architecture should be.
Okay.
Varamira has written all this.
Okay.
And so that is how the temples are made, and the same thing is used for making jewelry as well.
Okay.
Whereas the contemporary classic is based on today's emotion and for the future generation of customers.
Okay, but when you actually produce these pieces of traditional or heritage jewelry, you need to be more careful, is it? Because you need to adhere to those rules.
Well, if you have to be authentic, you have to have acquired those knowledge, and then you.
But how do people know about it? People just need to be told that it is heritage jewelry, and they are quite convinced even otherwise. Or is it actually to do with the trust they have with you, that whatever that you make need be that authentic?
I think there could be some misconception over there, but those who come from their own tradition, they do understand what their traditions are. To that extent, we don't need to support them. But in case where they are talking about a different tradition which they are not acquainted with, then additional information would be very helpful for them.
One thing about your brand is that most people think, in spite of looking at all these advertisements and billboards and the pieces of jewelry otherwise displayed too, they feel that it's not for them because I mean it really looks quite elitist. Is it actually that way, or is it something that anybody can wear?
In the past, the customers knew what we were offering, and those customers who have been coming, they know exactly the kind of products that are there. But there are new customers, new consumers who are coming to the city, and they are more aspiring. So they would also look for something more contemporary classic maybe. And for them, I think it's better to look at the new generation as well.
So you have something for everyone.
We have something for most of the consumers who are aspiring and have the convenience.
Okay, but what do you actually offer? Is it in terms of better quality, better design, perfection, workmanship, finishing?
We offer. We introduced a high quality of diamond 10 years back as F quality, and now it has become a
standard.
A standard, at least in the southern part of this country. And design, we were the foremost to take up design as a integral part of our jewelry design. But most importantly, we have our own workshop, a small atelier, which are meant for each of these different collections that we make. We have a small group of people who are dedicated to do this.
You have totally 200 people working on just producing these.
About 200, 220 people who are involved in it.
Okay, but your designs are beautiful too, and that is one thing that actually strikes when somebody looks at your designs, that they are very unique and very, very sometimes floral or have an element of nature in them, particularly about colors too. Like you have a particular bracelet which has pink colored gemstones, but even the gold looks pinkish. How do you actually achieve all this? Or is it by a deliberate, what do you say, attempt that you bring out these things? Or as you evolve these jewelry, they actually end up that way?
Well, we have an Yang studio, trained designers who go and study and get inspired by many things, and nature is...
Including nature. You send people to take photographs of trees and barks and roots and try to get the inspiration from nature itself.
Color stones are also natural. We use all gem quality stones, and using all those things, they come up with a new concept, and it takes almost 2 years for us to put a new collection out. So we brainstorm them, and then we also try and find out that such a collection does not exist in the world.
And some of these pieces of jewelry actually take about 8 to 10 months to produce.
That's right.
And with many people working on them.
That's right.
And they are flawless in the...
Well, absolutely. That's uncompromising is our attitude towards making jewelry.
You have your own quality control, do you?
We have trained quality people. We have a training center to train craft people. We have a small training center for training designers. This quality of input determines the quality of the jewelry that we make.
But how would you know that something that you actually produce would be something that would be appreciated? Because you invest a lot of money. There are some pieces which are worth 2 lakhs to about even 1.5 crore in some cases, and particularly the platinum dupatta kind of a thing that you made was about 15 crores worth.
That's an iconic piece. That is one of a kind of a thing.
And you made it for the London jewelry show.
We made it for the PGI, who have been taking it around, and finally the London jewelry couture got interested in that, so they showcased it in London to attract consumers to their jewelry show.
Okay, but when you produce other jewelry pieces that are unique and which are not replicable, I mean, how confident are you in terms of, starting to work with them, or do you actually get some opinion at the design stage itself to see whether that would be something that would be welcome?
We have a long design process which includes testing sometime. We do a pilot testing in a small quantity of it. We test them also with our consumers. We do a beta testing for that. But more importantly, I think we feel intuitively that this would work. Our intuition is very strong.
Okay.
And I think we know our consumers by heart.
Okay.
And we go about doing that.
It used to be that, Indians were quite fascinated by the color of gold itself, and also about gemstones, which was like round and fat, and, which was basically weighed in terms of, how many carats. But now, when anybody looks at your jewelry, they're like small slivers of these gemstones, which are like encased in very little gold, or sometimes no gold at all. It could even be platinum, and, the finishing also. Like you can see the design more than the element in it.
Thanks to technology, when man found the stones or gold in its natural, then he would have just started using like that. But with technology, I think we could shape, we could add more value to that by working on that and using different designs for that.
But what about diamonds? You were specialized in diamonds for a while, weren't you? I mean, at one point, people actually came to you for diamond jewelry.
Gem became synonymous with diamonds. And that's because of the consistent quality that we have kept up, and even today the standards are measured by the quality of diamonds we give in the industry.
You are today seen as one of the top jewelry brands in the world, and you're listed alongside Cartier and others. But what do you feel about it? How are you able to actually achieve this? Because the international quality standards are much higher than what you see today in India.
You'll be surprised that the diamond quality that we use is of international quality. In fact, we are rated as number 2 or something in the world for the kind of quality of diamonds we use. It's not just the quality of diamond. It was also all other things that we do, like as I said before, the design, the kind of heritage that we carry, and what we actually represent. Today we are an Indian brand, but a world-class Indian brand.
Okay, but you yourself personally have experience in diamond cutting too, which you learnt many years ago in Mumbai. So how do you understand diamond? I mean, do people in India, or women particularly, have that kind of fascination about diamond as much as they have about gold?
I think India was the first country to show fascination towards diamond.
Yeah, Kohinoor and Golconda.
Or even before that. And the first diamonds were found in India. And the diamond fascination continues. In fact, is just increasing. About my learning about diamond cutting a long time back, I'm very fascinated because I used to work with rough diamonds.
Okay.
And the moment I take the skin out of we had to open a window, and then the whole world of diamond would get to be there. This is like a drama.
Revealing the value of a diamond by slowly scraping the outer skin off.
It's when we see the diamond inside. It's almost like gazing at the sky and
or a
it's stellar
star.
physics.
Yeah. So why do you think that, I mean, the diamond business as such in South India has not picked up as much as the gold business? Is it because people are not very confident about buying diamonds, or don't you feel that South Indians are more interested in gold than in diamonds?
Well, the gold sale is definitely high in South India, but I must say that diamond sale in India, South also is number 1.
But there is something else attached to it, particularly because a lot of people, for astrological reasons, may not actually want to buy a diamond unless it suits them. Do you actually subscribe to that?
Well, if you go by the scriptures, they have laid out certain rules which says what is good for a particular person. It actually is beneficial. It doesn't say that it is bad, but it says that if you use this, it will be more beneficial. It's like food.
Okay.
For some people, you need to have proteins. For some people, you need to have vitamins. So
but because gold doesn't come with such rules, it's easier to buy gold than any gemstone.
Well, gold also has those norms, just that gold is much more acceptable.
Okay, and you're not just in the space of diamonds and jewelry, but you also try to develop Ganjam into a total brand, in the sense, you've been associating yourself with other brand specialists all over the world, other brands actually, and you're trying to place yourself in different areas. For instance, you also sponsored a trophy for a polo contest in Windsor.
Yes.
And this is now named after Ganjam.
That's right.
It's called the Ganjam Jaipur Trophy. For what exactly is this event? It's called the Ganjam Jaipur Trophy polo event or something like that, right?
Well, the first part of your question is, yes, as long as we were in Bangalore, and Bangalore was a very small town, city, it was fine that everyone knew everyone and they knew the jeweler they wanted to. But I think the whole country is prospering, the GDP is growing at a phenomenal rate, and we are also looking at the new areas. And if you have to go to new areas, the brand is a consolidation of all the activity and aspiration that we have. And particularly if you have to go outside the country, a brand is an important vehicle. And therefore, we started building the brand about 10 years back.
Okay.
And as a part of that, the Ganjam Jaipur Trophy is that something that happened.
It's because of Maharani Gayatri Devi.
That's right. Maharani Gayatri Devi, she has been having this with the Windsor, the royal family of UK, for quite some time, the polo matches at the Windsor, at the Guards Polo. And 5 years back, we met, and then she wanted us to be a part of that. And unfortunately, she's not there with us, but I think the trophy would continue.
Okay, but you feel a compulsion now to be in the international space, because that would actually give you more fillip to do better business here, because when people identify you as a truly international brand, perhaps the identity and the connect to it becomes more fruitful.
I don't think it is, I feel that it is more natural for us to be in that audience or in their
Not just that, because you were started out of Bangalore or Karnataka, that you need to limit yourself to Karnataka. You can always grow anywhere.
I think if a Florence jeweler who becomes international would have been for Cartier would be from Paris, and they have become international. So the international is just the journey they take.
But you really wanted to expand quite much in Europe, but because of the recession that you know.
Well, that's right. That's unfortunate.
Restrained yourselves.
But
but otherwise, you would have actually gone into a full.
Had a store at least by now.
But you're planning something in the US.
We are planning more in Japan now, because our business has started picking up there. And US right now we have put those plans.
Okay, but what about, people who don't feel confident enough to buy your jewelry because your jewelry sometimes are so beautiful and so elegant. Maybe they suit the what do you say, beautiful models than to ordinary people. So do you also reach out to those people who may want to buy a Ganjam as a piece of pride?
No, we are ordinary people, and we make jewelry for our normal customers. It's possible that some portion of our communication which highlights certain achievements, because when we have the red carpet event, it's just natural for us to communicate that in the red carpet the Ganjam jewelry was worn in the films either in LA or in Canada, wherever. And sometimes we share that information with our customers, so they would think that this is only meant for them. I like to stand corrected that it's most of our customers who come, they are very confident of wearing our jewelry.
What are the challenges in an international market? Because when competing with the other established international brands, I mean, they need not actually explain to anybody. Cartier need not really tell anybody why they need to buy a Cartier.
Absolutely, you're absolutely right. I think the conditions that was prevalent in Western society at that point of time when these brands were made were very different. They were at the end of a Renaissance, end of a Reformation. There was a particular condition in which most of these brands emerged. Now the conditions are changed completely. I think there's a redefinition of luxury brand. I think these are the opportunities that we have, and the challenges could be the Western. I think we are quite comfortable doing, because they have preferring jewelry.
Not just about quality, but also going from India. I mean, do people come with preconceived notions about any product from India, particularly? I mean, they could be okay with silks, because they cannot manufacture it there, because they're native to India or China. But jewelry, I mean, it could be made anywhere. But when a brand is coming from India, I mean, would it be a little looked at with suspicion?
One, it used to be that way before, but I think now Indians are all over. They have made their merit known, and therefore it's far easier now. And particularly if they come to exhibition that we have often outside the country, they come and see the jewelry and they're convinced about it.
Okay, but do you also have to push yourselves a little more, in the sense educate them about the product, say how they can rely on you and all that?
I think we have a long way to go. We are in very, very nascent stage right now. The more we can communicate, the more we can inform them and share information, it's easier for them to accept us.
What are the other international recognitions that have come your way?
Well, in 1998, we won the National Design Award for Diamond Jewelry. Then in 2000, we stood second in the world for the gold design. Then in 2002, we actually won the International Gold Jewelry Design and Fabrication Award. Then we won the Tahitian Pearl Award. We won 3 awards internationally.
Okay.
Then we were retained as one of the 4 jewelers in the world to make an iconic piece, which would be a trend-setting piece, which we spoke about earlier, the Raja. And lastly, there are international brands who are asking us to make some new designs, which would then they use for their future trend. So it's a part of the trend book. In the last 4 years, we have been constantly being showcased in the trend book.
But a lot of people recognize your brand now world over.
I won't say a lot of people. I think in the market segment that we are in very, very specific area, they do recognize the customers. Once they have purchased our jewelry, they come back and want to buy more of it. That's a very good.
But you try to place yourselves in the fashion circuit also.
Fashion is a smaller portion of it because fashion is very transient. Trends, we have short trends and longer trends. We are contemporary classic jewelry manufacturers. I mean, what we make today, we expect it to last quite the lifetime of a consumer. Therefore, fashion is a very small.
What do you actually concentrate on? Your customer loyalty or new customer base, or just being yourself and just offering the best so anybody could buy?
I think at this point of time, we have a very strong customer following. So our priority one is to keep satisfying them. Priority two would be, like you said, that we keep making jewelry and then open it to consumers.
Okay. Yours is a family business.
That's right.
Even your son is into this.
That's right.
And he has studied jewelry design.
And marketing.
And your uncles are also in this business.
My uncle is dedicated for last 55 years.
And apart from two women, almost every other woman is in the business too. So how do you feel as a family business? Do you think the whole idea of this family business is changing in a very corporate culture?
I think most brands are built with passion.
Yeah.
And
a family can give more passion, perhaps.
I think even we have others who also work for us. They share the same passion.
All the best.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for having come to this show.
It's my pleasure too, Mr. Mayor.